Will the Chiefs reign on the AFC West in this upcoming season? Can Patrick Mahomes' brother make it on the 53-man roster? And could the Chiefs potentially bring a disgruntled Packers cornerback? All of this next on Gridiron Gambit.
Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Let's work. Hey.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Gridiron Gambit. I am one of your co-hosts for the evening, Daily Dale Fowler, along with my buddies tonight, Clayton and Lonnie. How y'all doing?
Awesome, dude.
Good. Excited. Ready to talk Chiefs.
Yeah, we definitely got a lot to talk about tonight. You got some good conversations, of course, to discuss. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. And we're going to start with our first topic for the evening: 9 and done. So the Kansas City Chiefs have dominated the division for 9 consecutive seasons. They hope they can continue this upcoming season, but some believe their run could potentially come to an end in the division. Will they reign in 2025? And if it does, who will be the reason for that?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if the Chiefs will reign in Super Bowl champions in 2025. However, just being there was so much turnover this past year, losing some pieces on the offensive line, and then being some new faces brought in the cornerback room and new faces on the offensive line. I'm not necessarily thinking that the Chiefs are going to go 15-2 again. I don't necessarily see them doing that, but I do see them being amongst the teams that play in January and February, and they're scratching and clawing for a title. Now, what that looks like, I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't think it'll be to the tune of a 15-2 record just because they don't have that same group and mix of people. However, I think that it's going to take a superior effort from the offense this year, unlike years past where it's been our defense kind of carrying the team. And we know that's just kind of anomaly around here. Ever since we had Patrick Mahomes, it's usually been our offense that's been kind of doing their thing and our defense that has been able to get stops when needed. I think it needs to kind of go back to being that same order in order for us to kind of get back to superiority and where we want to be. We love the defense playing great and being the most dominant side of the ball. However, I think for the Chiefs to obtain another title, I think that the offense needs to be playing at a high level. We know Patrick Mahomes is great, but he can't do everything. And I think that's really has showed these past couple years, having some of the weapons that he's had. So I think that's why they kind of went out and kind of made sure to put some guys around him that had some speed and were able to get open in different areas. So I'm not sure if they reign again supreme. However, I do think the Chiefs do get to January, February, but it's going to be on the back of the offense, and particularly I think the wide receiver core. What we've seen from Rashee Rice prior to the injury, it was very, very promising. So and to go 15-2 without him and Hollywood Brown, I think speaks volumes to the team and kind of how they're building and what they're building in there. I was listening to the radio today. C-Dot was saying that we had Juju Smith-Schuster and DeAndre Hopkins, and those guys are like really no longer in the league. Like they're barely making it. They're scraping by basically non-existent wide receivers. They're good, but they're not the players that they once were. So to have those guys and to be able to still get to the Super Bowl, it makes you think, what can he do with some guys that are halfway decent or halfway put together, really good wide receivers? And that's no slight to those guys. I shouldn't have said it like that, but what can he do with some guys that are of age, younger, and really has some speed, fresh legs? So I'm excited. I think if the Chiefs do reign, like I said, it's on the back of their offense, and it's particularly the wide receiver core. We have to get back to playing Chiefs football, which is kind of scoring points, putting points up first.
I mean, shoot, if you would have asked me several years in a row, do I think we would have kept winning? I would have said no, because our luck can't sustain that way. But then the Chiefs have, found ways to get the job done several years, doing it in different forms, a couple times defensive, and other times just offensive. So, they have the capability, and depending on who you follow and everything right now, they're arguably the best team and have the best roster and all that, and are the best well-prepared team going into the season after the draft has passed us. So, if you say that out loud, it means they're in really good shape and they definitely could win their 10th straight. But now you have to go around the division. The Chargers are definitely a lot better this year with Herbert and Harbaugh and that combination having another year in an official draft class, and they're going to be trying to run the ball. And then the Raiders go out and take Genty right away, so that they're going to be trying to run the ball also. And then the Broncos, they also relied very heavily on their run game and the quick passing game. So the divisions getting harder and harder to deal with. The Chiefs have been dominant since even before Patrick Mahomes has been the quarterback for the Chiefs in the division. But never say never, I guess. I'm not rooting for it, but I think if you just say, statistics wise and all that, who you would choose, you'd probably choose the Chiefs. But this is the NFL, and any given Sunday, and anything can happen. So chalk up the randomness factor there. But all in all, the Chiefs are in good form, and whether or not they did good to kind of counteract the divisional rivals. I do know that Andy Reid loves to kind of dial up things whenever he plays his divisional rivals. It'll be like, week 2 or 3 in the season, and we'll say, man, things are really boring. When are we going to see anything spike up? And then, they play the Chargers in week 4, and then it's like, okay, there it is. There's all the offensive plays, and we were trying to make sure that they worked against our divisional opponents, because winning the division is the easiest way to get into the playoffs. That's what they say year in and year out. So I got to believe that's still the Chiefs' main mission this year, to then pivot to say, okay, we've won our division, so we can playoff goals and all that. So I think the Chiefs are in good form, and they are prepared to try to do it a 10th time, but the teams in the division are not going to make it easy for them to succeed at that.
I think both sides make pretty good points for what's going on. I think overall, I think we're not surprised that we could potentially, lose the division this season. But honestly, I'm gonna go out and just say, I don't think it's gonna happen this year. And I like to bring in comparisons, and the comparison I would bring in is look at Tom Brady and the Patriots, him, Bill Belichick. The whole time he was there as the quarterback for the team for nearly 10 plus seasons. And then they even had Matt Castle come in one year as well too, who filled in as a backup, and they won the division still. So I don't think it's something that is not hard to accomplish. But if we have a healthy Patrick Mahomes, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not going against him and saying that he's going to lose the division. Now, we didn't see him lost the Super Bowl, but his floor has literally been the AFC Championship game. So just to say that and see that, I'm not going to sit here and be surprised and say that we're not going to do it again this season. Now, y'all see me say the whole time, I've been waiting for this year of maybe the injury happened and that's the reason why. I don't know, but that's the only thing I can really see stopping us from actually winning. Stopping us from winning the AFC West. So I have much respect for the Broncos. I have much respect for the Broncos, the Raiders, and then also, of course, the Chargers as well too, and those head coaches. But all in all, and yes, Dre, I saw that. Thank you for letting me know. But that was 1 year. Great, cool, got it. Not saying that you're wrong either. You got the division because Tom Brady out. You didn't do nothing in that year as well too. So if you're going to beat us, you better do something in that year, because the competition is all out in other divisions as well too. You got teams like the Ravens, the Bills, the Bengals. They're all fighting for a chance because they got the top quarterbacks to go to the Super Bowl. So they're going to have to come out blazing. And I feel like they're building the rosters to be able to beat us. And I think they're building rosters that can be able to, of course, compete with other divisions as well too. But all in all, I'm just saying, like, with Patrick Mahomes healthy, ready to go, and then we went 15-2 as well. Without a Rashid Rice, without Hollywood Brown, dealing with the injuries that we had, dealing with the problems that we have at left tackle, we feel like we fixing the problems this year. I think we good to go. Now, I'm not gonna say we're gonna win 15 games again, but I can definitely see us going 13-4, 14-3, winning the AFC West, going back to the AFC Championship game, and see what happens from there. Who knows what happens? But still, I think it still goes. But I'm gonna give props. They did build. They had great offseason so far. I think the Broncos, they did the best just due to the fact that they already had a quarterback in their position. Their offense is coming together. They're of course building on that defense as well too. I think they're going to be the strongest to really compete with us, because other than of course beating our backups last year at the end of the season and blowing us out, I mean, they gave us a tough game, which was 16-14, and it was based off a block kicked, a block field goal. So anything can happen. I think it could be a humbling experience for us, though. Something that we can really think about and go into this season. But not and done, I don't think we done necessarily. Even if it's this year we didn't win, right? Okay, this is 1 year we didn't, but I think we'll be right back at it. But not and done. All in all, I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs is done there. I think we the dynasty continues as long as Patrick Mahomes is in the Chiefs uniform. So
that's it.
Yep.
You just said it, man. Patrick Mahomes, he hasn't lost an AFC West title yet. So, we were winning it before Patrick Mahomes came in, but ever since he's been the quarterback, we've won it ever since. We can argue, the pedigree of the other quarterbacks in the AFC West, but at this point, Herbert has not proven himself to be at or above the level for Mahomes. Bo Nix, he could be, but I don't think he's there yet. And the Raiders don't, they're going to try Geno Smith out there, and he'll be, good enough, but I don't think any of these quarterbacks are franchise level like Patrick Mahomes is. And the last time the Chiefs didn't win the AFC West was when Peyton Manning was a franchise quarterback in Denver. So unless the Chiefs are going against arguably a better quarterback than one Patrick Mahomes, I'm not saying you can wrap the division up, but, in those 1-to-1 matchups, you'll look back and say, oh, wow, the Chiefs did go 6-0 in the division, or 5-1, and outright won it and made sure that they played their best in those games. And then, like I said, it makes us frustrated. Why didn't they play well against this bad team? Okay, well, they were saving up their better plays to win the division because they understand the importance of winning the division.
Anything you want to add before we go?
No, I was just gonna say. I just said they probably get there. I don't know if they, like I said, I don't know if they reign just supreme over the entire league. But I don't know how it looks. But I mean, they can do it. They definitely have the ability. But we gotta give them some flack. The team has changed. There's been some turnover, and we're not gonna necessarily say it's been A+ turnover either. Like we're filling it with the A+ player. We're not. We're filling it with somebody that's kind of like a question mark. So that's the only reason I have that little reasonable doubt in there.
And it's respectable, reasonable doubt at the end of the day. Like, we can't go into every season. We go into every season thinking that we're going to win it all, right? But you really don't know until you get into January and February, and that's when it tells the true story. But before we move forward, I do want to confirm, Dre, you was technically correct. However, Matt Castle finished the season 11-5. So Miami must have a great year, or whoever that year, for that to happen. But 11-5 still, that's typically, with that type of division as well, that's good enough to win it with them, because typically they have a lot of their teams is 10 and under. So for that to happen miraculously the year that Tom Brady got hurt, they took the great advantage, but they didn't succeed in winning the Super Bowl.
And now there's more wild card teams. So if you have 10+ wins, you are definitely in the playoffs because there's 17 games. So
and they say they missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
At 11-5, that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Now that's kind of crazy. 11-5 missing the playoffs. Whew, that's tough. But before we move on to our next topic,
make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave a like or comment so we can reply and interact with you and make you a part of the show. If you listen to us on Spotify, please rate us 5 stars so we can increase our reach in the playlist. Follow us and all our contributors on all the social media platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and X. If you'd like to come on and talk Chiefs, message us so we can potentially set that up. Do you enjoy written content? Subscribe to our Substack. We have both a free and a $5 a month subscription and post on there frequently. And if you have any interest in being a contributor on the writing staff, feel free to reach out and we'll be in touch. It would help support the brand if you would purchase our merch, like the shirt that I'm wearing currently. Set up an order for one of these or 2 or 3, and this will allow us to expand our inventory options. Thanks for being a part of this channel, and if there's any partner that's listening to this interested in sponsoring the show or any other content that we produce, please reach out. Now, back to the show.
All right, now diving into our next topic, we have Brothers Bet. So it's been a lot of nepotism going on in the league so far. You know, it might not be literal nepotism because, you know, this is a brother per se. But Patrick Mahomes' brother, Graham Walker, was picked up by the Chiefs after not being selected in the 2025 NFL draft. We know this due to Mahomes being on the team. However, we have saw many undrafted players make a career in the NFL. So, for both of you, what will Graham have to do to make the 53-man roster this upcoming season?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and just make this sweet. We know he's a long shot. We love to see the name. We love to talk about it. It's fancy. It's cute for the Chiefs fans. But any undrafted person that comes in is a long shot. Really, once you get towards the 5, 6, and 7 rounds, you're really a long shot to make the roster. But you love to see it. I mean, it's another storyline. You see a lot of little fun storylines during training camp, and brothers coming in, people getting chances to make the rosters from different countries, and really getting opportunities of a lifetime. So it's just like any other undrafted player. You kind of go out there and kind of prove yourself. Why you should be amongst those guys that make the 53-man roster. He probably has an advantage a little bit because he can text the quarterback. And I'm pretty sure everybody can. I'm not sure everybody can. I don't know if they give his number to everybody, but
I'm on the team, bro. I'm taking the number. Pat, you gotta give me the number.
We're not gonna give Pat. I'm not gonna give Pat the benefit of the doubt until somebody come out and say Pat gave me his number. I'm not giving it. I'm not. Bro, they said Tom Brady used to do that though. They said Tom Brady would introduce himself, get his number out, and he used to text people personally. So I don't know if Pat does that, so I'm not gonna give him that benefit of the doubt. But I will know that Graham is probably able to text him personally whenever he wants to, which gives him the ultimate advantage, having him in his back pocket. I don't know if that really has anything to do with your athletic ability, because that's what it comes to at the end of the day. It's not about it is about the X's and O's, but however, in the NFL, it becomes can you beat the man at the end of the day? So we see how much of that ability he has, and if he's able to just kind of hold on to and toolbox some of that knowledge that he gets from his brother, and hopefully he does make it. It'll be a wonderful story. But with all the stuff we've seen from Bronny James, they'll be watching his stats worse than they was watching Bronny's, and it'll be just like, oh, they thought this guy was gonna be Tyreek Hill, and it'll be a whole bunch of stuff. So it's probably something that's probably for the better. It just doesn't happen, but it's a good story. It's a fun storyline in training camp and something good to watch, fun to watch.
Well, if you're asking me to pick a undrafted free agent tight end, I want to make the roster. It's Jared Casey out of Kansas, but that's because of a personal bias, but also because he flashed in big games, and I think he would be that. Like, I've been wanting to make this take. I think Jared Casey could be the Sean McGrath or Chiefs tackle tight end room. I'm just putting it out there as a third string tackle. He might be the perfect one that we need. Will Patrick Mahomes' half brother make the Chiefs 53-man roster?
Hold on, Clayton. Before you go, we not gonna start this half brother stuff. That's his brother. We ain't gonna do that. Lick of blood. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying, bro.
All right.
And we gonna say brother. Say
yes.
brother.
Yes, sir. Okay. Will Patrick Mahomes' brother make the team? No, he will not make the 53-man roster. He played out of Rice, for crying out loud. Did not really flash and was an undrafted free agent. So the Chiefs have better options at tight end, and they've proven they're not going to use as many tight ends on the field as we thought they might exploit. So I think, unfortunate for Graham, it's nice to get an NFL walk, a cup of coffee. Maybe he can slip into the practice squad because, frankly, I don't really know if any other NFL team wants or wanted you, and that's not a slight against you. Obviously, you have a familial connection to the Chiefs, but you also see like plenty of siblings enter a sporting league and no, just kidding, we're going to go to this other team because you might have some intel or something like that, or you flash enough talent that we don't want to pair you up with your family member. So he's going to be a practice squad player, and that's fine. And will he ever make it up to an NFL game? Who knows? But I know it's a good story, and you want to do Pat a favor here, but is it going to result to anything that shows up on Sunday or records a box score stat? Probably not, and that's not a slight against him.
And hey, I was gonna say this, not too much on Rice. Philip Gaines. Don't sleep on Philip Gaines. Do your research. Do your research on Philip Gaines. Second of all,
do we still like Philip Gaines right now? After
no, I'm just saying, do your research. Do your research on Philip Gaines. Who is Philip Gaines? Ask Siri who Philip Gaines is. First, yeah. Let me.
Hold on, you talking about the graphic?
Someone bring up the graphic of the bad Philip Gaines play.
Hold on, the graphic that circle around on my page every year. Boy, that game was crucial. Now you see how the topic just went somewhere else because we know Graham Walker is not going to make the 53-man roster. I'm gonna be real. Let me just put this. Let me put this out here right now. Will he be able to see a game though in the NFL? Like honestly, Clinton, but if he make the practice squad, you know how that be. Sometimes he can be a body that just need to come up there. We know we're not going to utilize you. We might have somebody else be added
he
in.
Could take up some space on day moves, like punt block. Or not touch a single player. Like you could take up a spot on the field if you need to. You could hold a clipboard if you have to.
But I think y'all giving him too much grace. He was undrafted. It's 7th round dudes that's really kind of nice in this draft class. I don't even know if he get on the practice squad. They got somebody that went to the University of Florida, didn't have no drops, that was an undrafted free agent.
That's
crazy.
I
don't think Graham makes the practice squad. I'm sorry. I think I'm just giving him too much grace. That's all.
It's rookie mini camp. You know what I'm saying? Going to be there throughout training camp. It's just an extra body. Put him on. Have fun with his brother through the preseason. You know what I'm saying? Like.
And I need to say that the Chiefs just either yesterday or the day before brought like undrafted free agent players to the podium. They didn't choose Graham Walker. They chose another tight end out of Iowa State whose name is escaping me right now because he was the one that they chose to pay a lot more money to. It's clear that Patrick Mahomes' brother did not require an excess of money to come to the Chiefs. It's probably like, hey, can you slide my brother a slip real quick? Could give him a summer job right now.
Just to get him out the house, get a little exercise in. But to answer the question though, like in full, like how could he make the practice squad? I mean, how could he make the 53-man roster? It's going to be based off of at least being good enough to stay on the practice squad and then being activated for one of the games. And I'm being real when saying that as well too, because I think a lot of people like to, make fun of people being a part of the practice squad and everything like that. That's not bad. They get cool salary for the year that some people looking for regular jobs. So it's like, I get to go to practice. I get to see the best players in the world, help them try to be a part of a super squad, Super Bowl roster, all that good stuff. Like, that's cool. And, I'm looking at his stats as well. Like, the reason why I would say that we're far-fetched on him making the roster is, I don't think Mahomes is one of those guys where you do have to earn it flat out. Like, I want to be the reason why you come to the team, but you gonna earn your keep. And how you earn your keep, your brother's the best player on the team, bro. This is my organization that is, bound down to me. Not saying that they are, but this is king right now. Follow my lead. Come to practice on time with me. Do the extra hours in a weight room other than everybody else. Be out there with us when we working on other stuff. Pick the brain of Travis Kelce, my best friend, the guy that we just made a restaurant with. Hell, come to the restaurant first night just because and be around all of us, all the starters that's going to be there. You got to take advantage. And people going to look at you like, hey, you think because you Patrick Mahomes had brother that, oh, you going to get on this roster. Nah, I think because I came from Rice and I feel like I'm like that, I'm going to make the roster. And I want you to come stop me from making the roster. You come with that energy, you're going to wake up the coaches already. Like, okay, he got the same competitive edge as his brother. All right. Now we're going to see the skill and see if it falls behind it. Remember, a lot of great players, nowadays, because they are going to some of these top colleges now, but, let's be honest, you have some dogs that's coming from programs that is not even mentioned in the likes of going to the national championship, right? You got Josh Allen coming from Wyoming. You had Carson Wentz when he was on top, for a little bit. He came from North Dakota State. We're not going to be looking at names. Can you play? Can you be a dog? Carson Steele was undrafted from UCLA. That's a D1 college, a known D1 college. It is what it is. We want to know who you are as a player. And that's what Shedeur going to have to do for the Cleveland Browns as well, too. Look, yeah, right. Sky Moore, Western Michigan. I hope he do better this season. I know. But still, we're hoping, right? But all in all, he can. I think you got the opportunity. We're saying that you're not going to make it, but we're not saying that you can't stay on the team. Practice squad, work yourself up, play. Injuries happen. We need a body for an extra game. Get up there, work hard. He'll be good to go. But that's how you make it to the roster, and that's how you make it on the 53-man if he can. If he can. Now, if he come out and we start seeing them highlights at practice and Cameron, I'm talking about him and Pat really on some, no look catch, and it's like that. Like, all right, all right. Hey, boy, you might have to be tight end too. Now, I'm gonna take it there. We seen that it's backyard football. I'm hyping it. We got to get this clip for that. So Clayton, just make sure you. We having fun, bro. But anything else y'all want to say before we go ahead and move forward?
No.
He'll be lucky to catch a ball from Mahomes.
He gonna catch a ball from Mahomes in Texas.
They make him rotate. They probably make probably at home. They not
play catch together. Go to that field outside.
Only time you get a ball is when you put in extra work in the morning before everybody get out there.
And in the evening after everybody leave.
Yep. He went OU Doken whole time. That's his quarterback.
Clay, anything else you gotta say before we go, man? Oh, go on to the next one.
No. It'd be a good story, but I just don't think he was productive enough in college. So
yeah. All in all, man, I really do think it's gonna be fun though. Like, man, look, bro, the disrespect to Grant Walker is not crazy. It's not like we're just tripping.
24 catches and 240 yards last year at Rice, and then before that he played at Brown, which is an Ivy League school. So he's smart. He's the smart kid of the family, not the athletic one.
I want y'all to do y'all research on Elijah Badger. I know y'all probably been seeing his name.
That's right. He was also at the podium yesterday.
And it's not a lot of undrafted guys make it, but no drops is something that the Chiefs like to hear.
That is crazy. We definitely love to hear that.
DeAndre Hopkins like to hear that, but unfortunately, being the Chiefs kind of poisoned that for him.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, it's college football. He coming from a big school. I'm just saying, I'll be talking about undrafted free agents. It's just you got a list, and it's only gonna probably be 1 or 2 that make it, and he's amongst those ones that.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be fun, man. I can't wait to see the undrafted guys in camp as well too. So rookie mini camp. It was 3 days, right? So I think if anything, it probably have wrapped up over the weekend. Might be
I believe
coming.
so.
Could potentially be coming, but getting ready. So yeah, training camp on its way as well too, and that's gonna be fun. I don't know how we all gonna get down there together once, but we're gonna have to make that happen so it can be a lit occasion.
Sure.
Let's move on to the last topic for the evening. No, we hit the 30-minute mark. Jaire or no? I don't know how to feel, bro. We know this is look. I'm gonna put it out there for y'all right now. We know we not gonna try to trade from him, but this is potentially, they like to attach us with everything. Packers cornerback Jaire Alexander has been floating around with trade rumors, and with the remaining cap space left for the Chiefs, it's unlikely for us to make the move on him unless he was released. He's very disgruntled, so we got to put that out there. Will Alexander joining the roster complete the Chiefs secondary, or are they already complete? How y'all feel?
Yeah, so I don't think that the Chiefs make this move. I love Jaire Alexander. But the Chiefs room the cornerback room in particular is kind of already loaded. I'm going out and getting Christian Fulton, bringing Najee Johnson back into the fold. We know he wasn't necessarily the best corner, but he did make some great plays down the stretch. Having guys like Trent McDuffie, then going out to add the NCAA leader in interceptions, Noah Williams. The room is, I think, filled to capacity at this point. You got some free. I'm pretty sure Cam Taylor-Britt. You still got those guys. No, I'm sorry, not Cam Taylor-Britt.
Hold on.
Who was the? It was one of the. He got a. I forgot his name.
Oh, Najee Johnson.
Not Najee Johnson.
It's
another. It's Keith Taylor. I think that's who it is.
Keith Taylor, yeah.
So I think you got
Christian Roland Wallace.
Christian Roland Wallace. You got some younger guys still in that room that are coming back from the previous year. And I think you got some Spags DBs. He has enough. Some guys that had some playing time last year, played in some big games, got a chance to see what it feels like to play in that system. I like who he has in the room. I think it's just too loaded for a guy like Jaire Alexander to come over, especially with all his antics. He kind of just doesn't match the room. Trent McDuffie is the head of that room, and Trent McDuffie is like the polar opposite of a Jaire Alexander. It's kind of almost like more damn like Trent McDuffie. Why don't you wear the glasses and talk shit? Like, we want you to like be like Deion Sanders, but like that's just not his mind. That's not him. But he's still one of the coldest corners in the league, still one of the smallest corners, but come up and blast you, not only blast you, but cover you 60 yards down the field, and this year started turning the ball over. So I just don't see them going out to make this move happen. I would love to see Jaire Alexander, but with all those antics, I don't know if that flies with Big Red, and necessarily that's the guy that we add to this room. That's really a quiet room, probably other than Jalen Watson, and that's only if you follow him and you know him. Is that he's the kind of boisterous one, but I don't know about that. Yeah.
I don't think I'm making this move, and it's not out of like dislike of the player, because Alexander's a good player, and he's coming off an injury last season. That's kind of one reason why I don't think a trade is really in the works. I don't think the Chiefs would take a chance on a defensive back coming off an injury like that at this point. Also, one who's not participating in workouts and stuff like that with the team. He's already employed to, but and also the money aspect of it. His contract is just much too high for the Chiefs to want to take on. They've already used up a lot of space, and they've already made it known they'd like to retain some of the players they already have now, which means they intend to eat up more of that cap space to internal players. So if the Chiefs were willing and able to pull off a trade for Jaire Alexander, I think it would ultimately come at the cost of Trent McDuffie, who are basically, not one-to-one the same player, but same body type, same excels in the inside, and and all that. And I don't think any of us are really trying to part with Trent McDuffie at this point. So if you just say it out loud, would you rather have Trent McDuffie, who's 4 years younger, arguably, than Jaire Alexander, who's older and coming off an injury and has a big cap number to it right now? I'm good where we're at. I think, especially knowing that he's better in the slot, I think we just value Trent McDuffie too much to kind of send that mixed signal to him. If Alexander gets cut and the Packers end up taking on 98% of all the salary and the Chiefs give him that minimum, hey, I'm not opposed to the conversation. But I think for the price and the player comp right now, I don't think it's worth it for the Chiefs' perspective to do so. Is their secondary complete? Arguably not, until we see them on the field and see like what the weak spot is that will get exploited, and then definitely want to fix that particular spot. But is the secondary in good shape? Is there a giant hole? Not necessarily. There's just some younger rookies or inexperienced that we just need to see some tape on. So I don't dislike the player, but if you're going to trade for him, it sends the wrong signals and eats up too much cap space for my interests. But if he's during the season cut and you don't even have to pay him all the game checks for the entire year, I'm not opposed to taking that gamble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Alexander. I'm not trading for him. I don't think none of us are. It's in the question. Like, it's not worth it for us to do it. Released, and you getting a good amount of money, and you just trying to go to a team that's you trying to play for a Super Bowl? Come on. Like, everybody did it. Like, you can't have too many good players. Like, Lonnie, if we go back to it, you're right. His antics a little bit too much. Nobody got time for you to go into the press conference. We don't do that over here. Y'all can say the Chiefs is controlling all you want, but what happened when we talk too much in press conferences? We got beat by the Cincinnati Bengals in the biggest game of in that conference to go to the Super Bowl, and it happened for as well too. We started shutting up. What happened when we shut it up? We won, and we went to go win the Super Bowl. We ain't got time for that. If you're not coming in on that, talk on the field. Now, you can talk back and forth on the field, go at it with the players that you're going at it with, but bulletin board material being set out to the media for people to talk about it, we're not big fans of that. You can't do that over here. But I think he'd get right coming over to this team knowing that, because it's Green Bay, y'all. I mean, they haven't done nothing since 2011 with Aaron Rodgers. They had all the antics over there as well, too, that's going on. Look at the city, bro. Like, we saw the draft, bro. Like, something entertaining has to happen in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And I think he was just bringing that entertainment value. I'm just being real. So, coming over to Kansas City, listen here, bro. You gonna come here, shut up, you gonna smoke weed and be quiet and play football. That's it. I'm just being real. You're gonna shut up. You're gonna go to Riverside, go get your little pack. You're gonna go back home. We all saw Kelsey with the switch to, hey, we link up and smoke, bro, and just shut up. It's not a drug to get in trouble no more in the league. We're gonna go kick it, go get a couple drinks, and then we're gonna be back to work, and we're gonna go to St. Joe, have practice, and have a good time. We in the middle of we in the middle of the map. Yeah, bro. It's about business when you on this side of town and when it get cold as well, too. So you're only going to be focused on this. And don't worry, Cleveland, we're not. You can add the little blurb in there and we'll be fine. We can go ahead and do it. I'm just being real, though. This is a natural thing we know what happens in Kansas City. So it's all good, but I think overall, like when we go back to it, having a player of that caliber, that's always going to be great to have on the team. And then at the same time as well too, I think the position that we worry about the most is really safety because it's all young guys. Because I was just really saying all the names in my head. I was like, damn, the safety room is pretty full. And we got pretty much a lot of corners, and we went after a Christian Fulton in the free agency. You got Noah Williams, like you said, who was leading the FBS in interceptions and all of that. So it's like you have the guys there that will can make it a successful secondary room. And did we not all feel this way, honestly, when Tyrann Mathieu left, and then L'Jarius Sneed and Charvarius Ward left, and then L'Jarius Sneed had to step up as the number one cornerback, and then we went to go get a Justin Reed to be safety. It brings somewhat those memories again. And guess what they did that year? It was the best secondary in the league for 2 years straight. So we fine. If you come in, you just solidifying what worries we might have, but we don't need it. I think we really good. And I know you said we're not going to really see it until everything is finalized. You're not. You're right, Clean. We're not. But when you put it on paper, we all right. We got to see what happens in training camp. We got to see when they put those pads on, do a couple practices. I don't think we do joint practices no more as well, too. So we won't see anything into the preseason. So when it all comes out, I think what they need to refrain from what they did last season, make these young guys play early and make them play for at least most of the first quarter going into the second quarter. At least if you're projecting them to be starters. They need the reps. They need the work. I don't want to have a Kingsley situation again. I'm still going to say we messed him up with that. You got to put in the work. We don't want to go through that again. And that's going to Josh Simmons as well, too, if he's healthy and ready. Nah, bro, go get these reps in. Learn his playbook. Get out there. Feel how your leg feel, all that good stuff. If it feel weird, let us know. We'll get you out. If they allow him to do that, right? But we got to get the work in early. And that's all I got to say on that. But overall, yeah, I would like him, but that was just a fun topic. He ain't coming to us. I don't think he leaving at all. They go through this every offseason. Mm-hmm. Anything on that?
No, not for the Jaire.
Yeah, stay where you at. We don't need the charades.
But that's all we have it. You see, we said forget it with Jaire. Basically, bro, just stay in Green Bay and figure it out. Get your life together, and hopefully we'll see y'all at the Super Bowl. Because we've been waiting for this repeat of Super Bowl 1 forever. Like we've been waiting it forever. So, at least try to help them get there and do that. But anything I want to add before we go ahead and leave off our good people for the rest of the night? Our good Red Kingdom medians. All right, we're going to find y'all a better name. I don't know. We'll think about it in a little bit. But that's all we have for this edition of Great Hour Gabby. We definitely appreciate everyone for, of course, supporting us and tapping in with us. Make sure that you follow us on all our social media platforms and also subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, too. We on the road to 500. So please help us out and get us there so we can do that getaway. Also, follow us on all our social media platforms as well, too. Y'all see it right here on the panel, on the screen for us. This is our X, though. Pretty much if you... Lonnie, he not know. You just find him on Instagram and X. All right. You muted, bro. You'll find everybody else everywhere else. Lonnie, you find him on X and Instagram. Right. Tap in there. But we appreciate everybody. We love you all. We love your freaking faces as well, too, even though we can't see them. And y'all know how we like to close it out. And as always, go Chiefs.
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom Media.